welcome to Smash Writing. And as we inch ever so closer to the end of 2024, I'm getting to the point where I have to look back on the year and talk about and watch movies I missed. So we can do the top 10 in December. And I decided, well, if I'm going to be looking back on the beginning of the year with the movies I missed, I might as well talk about them here. You know, have fun with everyone. Give my opinion on movies that I missed. Because I either didn't have the money at the time, too lazy, too busy, or anything in between. So, with that said, let's talk about The Beekeeper. That came out in January, directed by David Ayers. Let's dive in, shall we? This movie opens up with the title sequences about bees and beehives, the history of bees and everything like that, before we meet up with the beekeeper himself, Adam. And he is living in a barn of a woman named Eloise, I believe her name was. And he's very thankful for her. And by the way he's talking, it sounds like he's going to be leaving shortly. But he's very internally grateful to her for everything she's done to help him get his life back on track, it sounds like. And she's very thankful for him and asks him to come up to dinner later on that night and everything before he leaves. He agrees and he goes off to start collecting honey. And while he's doing that, though, he's missing the fact that she is being scammed for over $2 million by an internet scammer who is very happy with what he's doing. And him and all of the people working the phones are applauding the fact that this scammed her for $2 million. And she kills herself over that. And he comes home, a big jar of honey with her name on it. And when he hears the fire extinguisher go, and he comes in, and he has a gun pointed to him by her daughter, Verona, who comes home and catches him. And he sees the body before she does, kind of deal. They arrest him, but they let him go because there's no residue on his hands or anything. And it is ruled a suicide. And he is not having it at all. Like that day, the morning, him and Verona have a nice little chat and everything. And she's the one who informs him that she'd been scammed and cleaned out. And he, again, not having it. And he goes down to this place, Data United or something like that. And he beats up the guards. He beats up a guy with a phone call who does not take him seriously when he tells them to leave. And to, actually, before they leave, repeat after me, I will not scam anybody anymore. And he beats the one guy with the phone. And then he starts dumping gasoline everywhere. The boss guy comes to try to stop him. He beats up the boss guy's goons and dumps the gas, sets up a bomb that'll trigger the next caller who calls in on one of their scams, which happens almost immediately, just as he's pulling out of the driveway. He goes and the boss calls his brother, because as it turns out, this scenario goes much higher. His brother's name is Derek Denforth at the Denforth Corporation or company. And the brother wants the beekeeper dealt with. And working backwards, they're able to find him at the farm of the one that they scammed. And they try to fight him, and he picks them off one at a time. It is wonderful. But once again, he catches the barn on fire. Now, Verona is investigating the fire back at the data center because she is FBI. And she gets a call that her barn's on fire, and she goes back. So now they know it's Clay, Adam Clay. And surprisingly, this boss guy, the first one, he actually escaped, despite the fact he has no fingers left on his right hand kind of deal. And he is sitting in traffic, and he calls the guy, and the guy talks to his dad, who's former CIA, and hears that it's a beekeeper, and he's like, I can't help you. You're nuts. But unfortunately, while the phone call is happening, the beekeeper shows up and deals with the fingerless brother guy, whatever his name is, and ties him to his truck and sends the truck careening into the river, and then tells the guy on the phone he's coming for him. And this is where things get real weird, so let's try to break this down the best I can. The beekeeper is making his way up the totem pole kind of deal. He's following the money, and he's going after the guy on top, Derek. But as we find out as the movie goes along, there might be someone higher up Derek's mother is the president of the United States. I get kind of worried that he's gonna kill this woman, and it comes down to a big fight at their estate. He is fighting his way through everyone, and it's really interesting because there are Secret Service and FBI and government officials, and he's incapacitating them, but he is putting down the mercs permanently. And he finally gets to the one room, and he takes out Derek and leaves Mom alive. He dives out of the window, and Verona has a clear shot on him, but after everything she's seen and everything that has happened, she elects to let him run off, and he makes his escape through the water. And that is pretty much the Beekeeper. I had to speed through that middle part because it's a whole lot of investigating and a whole lot of back and forth between the family. I just called him Frank. I should have. How many times will I call Adam Frank here? It's just a whole lot of back and forth and a whole lot of spiraling up the ladder. So let's talk about pro and con this morning real quick. Pound it out. Pros. The action and death scenes are crisp. That stairwell fight with him blending in incapacitating moves to deadly attacks was so exciting to watch at the time. And just all throughout, the deaths are so creative and so fun. That's right, the barn sequence was amazing. Anytime he is mingling with the hackers and attacking the hackers, is so funny to watch. And then you have the back and forth between Verona and her partner Wiley. Those two got excellent chemistry. I would love to see them in another movie. I like to see a sequel to this movie in general. Jason Statham still kicks all of the ass. I've said this so many times this year thanks to that Transporter run. But here he is, 2024, still looking incredible, beating the hell out of multiple people. And this movie does make it easy because the villains are really despicable people, really horrible people stealing from the elderly and the most vulnerable in society. So it's real exciting to just kill them. They all suck. But I think that the plot of this ends up getting lost in this bigger conspiracy because we didn't have to go all the way to the President of the United States. We could have reeled this back in and just had it been Derek and the CIA guy at the head of this, and the CIA guy is the one who gives Derek this algorithm that instead of going after terrorists, it attacks easy marks. And that way we could have focused more time on the emotional stuff with with Adam, and showing us like flashbacks or moments or having him talking about Eloise and how much she meant to him and what she did to help him and everything. And we could have had more moments with him and Verona because at this point I think we only had 2 or 3 interactions between Verona and Adam. We could have done with a few more there, like really raised up those emotional stakes. Or we could have had our cake and eaten it too at the same time, where we have fun action sequences with an emotional development, an emotional character-driven story too. But I feel like we lost that emotional thing in this big, crazy-ass conspiracy thing here. That turned out not even to be a real conspiracy, because it turns out the mom didn't know anything. It was just the son who did all of this shit for his mom, and the mom didn't know. At the end of the day, though, this is a B-plus movie. The action sequences are great. The actors they brought in were a lot of fun to watch. Especially the back and forth between Verona and Wiley, and Jason Statham's presence even today. It is a fun little action movie. Check it out on streaming. As always, have a good day, evening, night, afternoon, whatever, wherever you are. And as always, bye-bye.